Thanks for checking out the video. Before we get started, do me a huge favor, like the video and subscribe to the channel and ring the bell. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. If we can get there, we can provide some free one-on-one lessons for our students that can't typically afford it and get them into some affordable instruments. If you'd like to know more about this, please check below the Patreon link. Let's get started. Let's talk real quick about the parts of the bass guitar before we get into the quick lesson. Looking at the bass guitar, you've got the body right here, right? Like you've got the neck, and in this particular instance, the neck attaches to the back of the body with 4 bolts. The neck is comprised of the headstock here with 4 tuning keys. This will allow you to adjust the pitch of the strings. The strings attach here and then go over the nut, and then you have these little silver lines right here, these little silver metal bars on the neck. Those are called the frets. And if somebody, for instance, would just say, play a note on the 1st fret, you wouldn't play right on top of the fret, but rather you'd play right behind it in this area, between the nut and the fret. That'll have a nice solid sound. And then if somebody said 2nd fret, 3rd fret, etc., this would be the 2nd fret area, 3rd fret, 4th fret, 5th fret, etc. Now this particular bass guitar has some fret markers on the 3rd, 5th, 7th, 9th, 12th, 15th, 17th, and 19th frets. Some will have dots on or markers in different places, some will have none. So it all depends on the brand, but it just is a really visual indicator for where your hands are on the neck. And then this particular bass also has some little white dots on the side, so even if you can't see the front of the neck, you can still reference where the frets are and where your hands are. This particular bass has 2 dots right here on the 12th fret. Some brands will have different markings or a special logo right there, but that just denotes the 12th fret. Now the body attaches to the neck here. We've got the pick guard. We have a set of pickups right here underneath the strings, right there. Kind of shine some light on them. And then we have a single volume and a single tone for this particular instrument. Right behind that we have the input jack where I've got the cable plugged in, and then we have the bridge, and that is where the strings attach to the body. In this particular bass they attach right through the back, but sometimes I have what they call top loaders, and that'll just attach right to the top. Now also here we have a strap pin for the horn here to go over the left shoulder. And then in this particular bass, we've got one right back here. Now when you're holding the bass, whether you're sitting down or with a strap, you want to sort of position your hand right over the body and then sort of anchor your thumb, if you're going to be playing with your fingers, right here like on a pickup, or a space on the body where you can kind of move your fingers from. And then with your right hand, you're going to want to sort of have almost like a C shape, and it should be very loose. And when you apply it over the neck, it should arch a little bit. If you find your elbow sticking out like this, or if you find your elbow kind of cramming against your body, just know that you're out of position there, and you just want to try to let your arm hang loose and then bring your wrist up to the bass and try to keep that thumb in the back if possible. Let's talk about the strings real quick. Let's talk about their names. Let's talk about their string numbers. On a bass guitar, we have the low string at the top here, and then we have the high string at the bottom. And the reason they're called the high and low strings is because of the pitch or sound they make. So you may think the high string would be on top here and the low string would be in the bottom, but it's just the opposite because we're referencing the pitch. Another thing to think about is when you're playing the bass guitar, the string numbers go from 4 to 3 to 2 to 1. So the 1st string will be the skinniest, and the 4th string will be the thickest. So let's run through that real quick. This is going to be an E, and it is the 4th string. Next down would be the A, and that would be the 3rd string. One more down, you'll have the D, and that'll be the 2nd string. And then you'll have the 1st string, which is G. Let's do a quick little finger exercise to get your fingers moving. For this one, I am going to use my fingers. If you do want to try this with a pick, and I encourage everybody to do both, a little pick there, and I hold it in my hand, kind of like it's an extension of my pointer finger. And the idea is just to hold it kind of loosely. So we're going to start with the low E string, and we're going to play each string open. And we're going to do them in whole notes. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's each string open for 4 beats. Now let's try that again, where we're going to do the 3rd fret for each string, and we're also going to do 4 beats. So what we're going to do is put our first finger right here on the 3rd fret of the 4th string, which is the E string, and we're going to do 4 beats of each string on the 3rd fret. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4th string, 2, 3, 4. 3rd string, 2, 3, 4. 2nd string, 2, 3, 4. 1st string, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. Now let's try another exercise for the fingers, and this will be combining those 2 exercises. So what we're going to do is we're going to play the open E, and then we're going to play the 3rd fret of the E string, open A, and then the 3rd fret of that string, open D, and then the 3rd fret of that string, and then open E, or open G, sorry, and then the 3rd fret of that string. All right, we ready? Starting on the low string, the 4th string. And we're going to do these in whole notes also. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome. Now you can do that exercise using any combination do you want to. So you could do like an open string and then a 1st fret. Repeat that. Or 2nd fret, any combination, just to get used to the way the hands feel on the neck and getting you used to playing the strings with your 1st finger. So we've talked about the parts of the bass guitar, and I've walked you through a real quick finger exercise. Let's talk about some accessories that are going to be good to have as you learn. First thing I'd recommend getting is a strap. So you can get used to holding the bass guitar, whether you're sitting or standing up, getting used to playing it and hanging in that position. Next thing I would recommend is some sort of tuner. There's a lot of different types. This is just a little clip-on one that goes right on the headstock. But they also have foot pedals and more standalone type tuners that you would plug into. They're all fine. It's good just to get started. Get something cheap. These little clip-on ones are, I think, less than $20, maybe even cheaper at this point. If you're going to be playing through an amp, which is a lot of fun, I recommend getting a cable. And then, of course, an amp of some kind. I think I'll try to suggest some down below. But you can also use just like a headphone amplifier. I'm actually recording the bass guitar today, went through kind of a little headphone deal over by the computer, so I'm not even really playing through an actual amp. But if you have something you can throw the headphones on or play at your house, in your room, or your practice space, that's ideal to have, especially once you start practicing with other people. And one thing I forgot to mention in regards to the tuner, there's a lot of mobile phone applications that have really good tuners in them. They work just as well as anything else. And a nice thing about those mobile phone tuners is that a lot of times they'll have like a metronome built into the same application, and I highly recommend practicing with a metronome. That's something I never did as a kid, and I think I would have gotten a lot better, a lot faster if I'd stuck with playing to a metronome, because it really helps establish your sense of time. It's I think a must-have accessory. If you'd like to know more about the bass guitar, if you'd like to see me talk about another part of the instrument or a particular song or skill that you'd be interested in learning, please leave that down in the comments below, and please like and subscribe and ring the bell. What we're trying to do is get to 1,000 subscribers. If we can get to 1,000 subscribers, we're going to be able to offer some affordable or free lessons to beginners, and then hopefully get them into some affordable instruments. If you'd like to learn more about that, we've got a Patreon set up. Should be flashing across the screen now, but it's also going to be down in the comments below. So hope you're having an awesome day, and we'll see you in the next video.